Hey guys, Jordan with Pain Leather and Tool here. Tyrell Thomas, one of my followers from Instagram, now follower on YouTube, posted a comment, asked a question about the hammers that I use, where I got them, what I use them for, maybe that kind of stuff. So I thought I'd go over that just real briefly. I won't go into great detail with how all these are used. I'd have to do probably demonstrations with all of them because there are some intricacies to some of them, but they're hammers, so they're not that complicated. Anyway, from right to left, though, I'll start real quick. So this is a strapped HF Osborne. Strapped is just the design, the head, the way it's mounted to the handle. It's an HF Osborne Saddler's or harness hammer. It's got a small face. It's used to drive small tacks. I use it fairly often, and yeah, it's been great. It was given to me by my teacher, and so it means a lot to me. This one here is just kind of your standard cobbler's hammer. It's got a larger face that I polished, used for kind of beating down edges where you've either glued leather together or you have stitched it and you need to smash it down. I use it usually for when I'm gluing seams together or if I need to smooth out a rough spot. That's why the face is polished. You can kind of use it almost as a slicker to smooth the leather out. Now this guy here is a Blanchard, is a French harness maker's hammer that I actually just received today. If you saw a picture earlier on Instagram I posted, that was in it. It's from my friend Damien, and I got to clean it up a little bit and maybe rehang the handle. There's a crack near the head, but you know, it functions pretty similar to this. You know, you could use it for driving tacks or riveting, probably more riveting than anything based off the size of the face, but should be a handy little hammer, and I hadn't had any French hammers in my collection yet, so it'll be nice to use that. Next is just a plumb ball peen. You know, ball peens are pretty handy for lots of different things, and that's one of my go-tos for a lot of different tasks. To the left of that, this is another cobbler style hammer. That particular one is a George Barnsley, which is from England. And this one has two faces. So like we saw on this one that has the larger face, this one has two faces, and it's got an extremely large face and then a smaller face, both of which are polished, and they're used for beating down leather if I need to you know, thin it up a little bit, or if I need to really get a seam together that's glued, or if I stitch a seam and I want to knock down the threads nice and flat. That's the hammer that I would use. To the left of that, right here, is a CS Osborne number 4 riveting hammer, and I use that for a lot of my larger rivets. It's got a handle on it that I made, and it works great. To the left of that is a small French hammer with a square face. French style is just a cool style of hammer, but I don't use that a ton just because the square face is not suitable for a lot of tasks, but it does have its uses. To the left of that is another cobbler's hammer. I know I got 3 of those, but this one has a really large face and a little short stubby handle, and I use that for a lot of different things too, smoothing out spots, beating down seams like we talked about before. And then to the left is of that, the last one is another CS Osborne. This is number 1. It's got a much smaller head than the number 4 right here. I actually like it the best and probably use it coming up on. It's been one of the hammers that I use more often recently. It's got a really small face. It works really well for tacks. It works really well for the size 14 copper rivets that I tend to use. And yeah, I like it a lot. I think I got it off eBay or something like that. But so I'm sorry, knocking the camera all over the place. Just to kind of recap for Tyrell. So this one here was given to me. This one was given to me by a friend. This one I traded with a friend in France. This is just an old ball peen that I've had. Got this one off eBay. I think this was an eBay purchase. This was an eBay purchase. This guy was up at a leather trade show I bought. And I think the little number 1 was also an eBay purchase. So keep your eyes out if you are into leather tools, hammers for leather work, or any leather tools in general. eBay's a good source. A lot of different stuff pops up, and especially if you search some of the foreign eBay sites, you can find a lot of different things. So anyway, hopefully that answered the questions about that. If anybody has any questions about more specific uses, I'll be happy to do videos on that. And be sure to like and subscribe. And in the comments, if you have anything that you want me to cover in the future, any questions about this, let me know. We're on Instagram, Pain Leather and Tool. We're on Facebook, also Pain Leather and Tool, and our website is www.painleatherandtool.com. Keep your eyes open there. I'll have some vintage hammers up for sale pretty soon in the vintage tools section. So check that out. If you have any questions, requests, once again, let me know. Happy to do some more videos. Thanks, guys.